my name is Macy Webb, and this is my movie analysis for The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is a movie that has been remade a countless amount of times, but I'm going to be focusing on the 1974 version specifically. One of my favorite quotes from the movie is, "I thought of Gatsby's wonder when he first picked up the green light at the end of Daisy's dock. He had come a long way to this line, and his dreams seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it. He did not know that it was already behind him." I think that this quote does a good job at explaining the entire plot of The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby follows Nick Carraway, a man who moves to Long Island and becomes involved in the life of Jay Gatsby. Jay Gatsby throws parties every Saturday in hopes that one day Daisy, his old lover, will show up at one of them and they can reunite. Daisy, however, is married to a man named Tom Buchanan, and this forms a really intense love triangle, which ends up causing a bunch of tragedy at the end of the film. One of my favorite parts of the movie is the party scene at Gatsby's house after Daisy and Gatsby have reunited. I really liked how this movie portrayed the era that this movie was shot in, which is the 1920s. There was a really good portrayal of the costumes and the dancing and even things like the cars. I really thought was cool to see. Jay Gatsby is the main character of this movie, and as the movie progresses, we really get to see his character develop. At the beginning of the movie, Gatsby is very mysterious and charming to most people. A lot of the people that show up to his parties have heard rumors and stories about Gatsby, but no one really knows what's true and what's not. Towards the middle of the film, we finally get to see a more personable side of Gatsby through the developing relationship that Nick and Gatsby have. And at the moment where Gatsby and Daisy reunite, Gatsby becomes a little embarrassed and nervous, which shows a more personable side of him. And at the end of the movie, Gatsby is overcome with his desire for Daisy, and he is unwilling to admit the fact that Daisy did love Tom at some point, which is why they got married in the first place. But overall, Gatsby is very hopeful and chases his dream until the very end. The main theme of this movie talks about the American dream and how unobtainable and unrealistic the goal really is. Gatsby learns this, and the audience also learns this through Gatsby's actions. The main conflict of the film is man versus man. Gatsby and Tom fight over Daisy's heart, and in one scene where they're at a plaza, Tom and Gatsby are having an argument over whether Daisy ever loved Tom, and this almost leads to a fist fight between the two. The cinematography of this movie, I think, did a really good job of portraying the 1920s and the era of those days. This movie does a really good job at making you feel happy and upbeat and really excited during the party scenes, but takes a completely different turn at the end of the movie with the tragedy and makes you feel disappointed for Gatsby because his dream comes to a halt. This movie is really important because it is based off of the original book, which has sold millions of copies and is considered a classic. It portrays every aspect of U.S. life, from love and success to things like crime. This movie also kind of strays away from traditional movie rules and breaks the boundaries with the death of the main character, which is very strange for movies to do. And the antagonists of the movies don't really face any consequences for their actions, and they just return to their normal lives. Overall, I think this movie did a really good job at showing the life of a hopeful man chasing his dream. This movie is full of funny moments, intense scenes, music, and all of the above. And most importantly, it teaches people about the American dream and the dangers of it, and it also teaches about the consequences of becoming devoured in unobtainable goals. And like Nick Carraway explains, Gatsby fought for his dream until the very end, and the dream became so desirable to him that he fought, and he eventually did not know that it was already behind him.